From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening of Evenings LALATE with incredible big news about your fourth stimulus check of 2021 today, breaking this Friday. With incredible news about this monthly stimulus check that would land in your bank account starting the month of July. It's a monthly stimulus check that comes every month. In this recording, we go over the breaking news today that impacted your fourth stimulus check and why a budget ceiling deal, which has to be done by July, signals that fourth stimulus is going to the finish line. It's currently in a two-bill, two-month, two-step process heading to the finish line. And we'll go over how much you're going to get and when you're going to get it. Then we'll cut to fifth stimulus and then incredible SSI reform that'll change your benefits for a lifetime. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits, I have the big news. Then we go over the incredible money that's landing in your bank account today and all next week, and also the incredible deadline that is this coming Monday that will tee you up for thousands of dollars. But you need to watch that deadline, because if you don't do what I'm going to go over in this recording, you're not going to get the money. It's an incredible night of Evenings LA with thousands of dollars landing in your bank account. We have all the incredible details. From Wall Street to Main Street, from my home to your home, the fourth stimulus is heading to the door, and we're heading to Evenings LA. This is Evenings LALATE, and I'm so excited you're here on a big Friday night. You made it to the weekend. Congratulations. In this recording, we go over the fourth stimulus check. Today, the update, the major breaking news that impacts your fourth stimulus check I got in this recording. We also go over the fifth stimulus check, the fifth stimulus package, which lands this fall, that will change your benefits across the board for a lifetime. It's incredible, great news. I'm so excited for you. And then we go over the big, incredible money that's landing today in your bank account and next week. But we also go over the very, very critically important deadline of Monday. That is Money Monday. If you don't do what I go over in this recording, you're not going to miss out in not nearly thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. I have all the incredible great news. Let's get to it. But first, if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe right now. This is LALATE, the only 24 hours a day, 7 days a week financial news channel with live shows in the morning, tape shows in the afternoon, overnight shows all around the clock. There is literally programming every minute of the day airing new on this channel, so you don't want to miss a single video across the board. Also, like this video. If you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. And in addition to subscribing and liking, consider becoming a member. The link is at the top of the chat in the pinned comment. Let's get right to the breaking news. Fourth stimulus is the biggest stimulus package you've ever seen in the history of this channel, and it starts with two bills, two processes, and two steps. But there's also two approaches, and those two approaches we're going to compare and contrast to start off, so you are up to date. There is a Senate approach and there is the House approach. More checks for one, less checks from the other, but bigger checks for one side. So let's compare and contrast. First, the House proposal is to provide you stimulus checks for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year, whereas the Senate plan provides you stimulus checks just till December. This now becomes a major changing factor this Friday. Why is this changing just today? Because yesterday the CDC announced that if you're fully vaccinated, you can go inside and outside a building without a mask. And now a lot of mask mandates have been lifted, including the White House is now allowing people to walk around the White House grounds without a mask, inside and outside, if they're vaccinated. So is the end of the pandemic 4 months away or 4 weeks away? Initially, we thought the House plan was going to give you a lot more stimulus checks, 1 year plus 4 months if there's 4 months left of the pandemic. But if there's only 1 month left of the pandemic, you're looking at 13 months of stimulus checks. The senators would provide stimulus checks for July to December. But before you're voting, if you're in the live chat right now, shortly after 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, get ready to vote Senate or House. In lieu of tonight's breaking details, now let's look at the monthly stimulus check amount. The House proposal is $1,000 after the first month. The Senate amount is unknown, but word on the street is the senators would pay you upwards of $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000, or $1,400 a month over 6 months, which is $8,400. Now vote if you're on the live chat. And if you're watching this taped, jump into the comments, Senate or House, which one do you like? If we're looking at the House plan and there's 1 month left to the pandemic, then that would be $13,000 approximately. And if we're looking, but it would take you 13 months to get the stimulus checks. And now if you're looking at the Senate plan and we're potentially looking at the first possibility, then that would mean you get $12,000, but only in 6 months. Now you see, for the first time tonight on Evenings LALATE, how the number of months of the checks is really a big issue. In lieu of the CDC now saying removing the mask mandate. If the pandemic's any faster, you get a lot less checks from the House plan. So which one do you like? Let's go over the other incredible great details. When would you get this stimulus check? In the month of July. For the month of July. Remember, I'm a reporter, I'm not a legislator. I just report what they represent. And what they represent is the vote is by the day of the 4th day of the month of July. That means you would get a July check in the month of July, an August check in the month of August, and away we go. There would be no waves of stimulus checks. They can't do waves of stimulus checks because it's a monthly stimulus package. The amount of the stimulus check would be the same for adult dependents and for minor dependents, and also for everyone else. And who is everyone else? Who gets these stimulus checks? If you make less than $75,000, you get the fourth stimulus check. If you make less than $150,000, married couple, you get the fourth stimulus check. You just double it. If you're a family of 4, a household of 4, you get the stimulus check. You just quadruple it. And if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or railroad benefits, congratulations, you get these monthly fourth stimulus checks. Is it income? It's not income. Is it taxable? It's not taxable. When are they starting it? They already have. It's a 2-bill, 2-month, 2-step process that starts in subcommittees where it currently has started. And away we go. That is your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. Coming up in the second half of this recording, I give you an incredible rundown of what's going on with the fifth stimulus that got a major change yesterday. And that major change was the inflationary rate. And this morning, while not confirmed, it also got a major shocker. And what was that shocker about fifth stimulus this morning? One of the number one analysts on Wall Street told Broadcast News this morning that he thinks the inflationary rate for the next year could be upwards of 20% before it settles down to 2%. He thinks that the calls from the Federal Reserve that there's going to be a 2.5% inflationary rate through the rest of the year are grossly understated. This is incredible great news for SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, and survivor benefits reform under fifth stimulus. Why? Here's the preview. In the fifth stimulus package, they are going to raise your benefits and tie them to inflation. So if inflation does go up 20% this year, you are protected. This is incredible great news. Yes, that would mean your benefits also are raised up to a big new number. And then after they reach that number, they would also be increased based upon how much inflation increases. So if inflation goes up 20%, your benefits would go up an additional 20%. Incredible great news. Now let's go back to the big money landing today, next week, and the breaking deadline of this Monday that is absolutely critical and is what's triggering a lot of tough love on this channel. Also, I'll go over the breaking news about what happened today that impacts your fourth stimulus check. All right, let's go over all the incredible details. First, there's a series of money landing your bank accounts today, next week, and the week after, and that is what we call donut money because you don't have to do anything. You can hold your donut and relax. It's automatic. Donut money number one. Thousands of dollars is landing in your bank account from your state. What's going on? If a state had overpaid you benefits for unemployment by accident and asked you to return it and you did return it, it's coming back to you. Congratulations. The Department of Labor has ordered states to return back to you overpayments that were no fault of your own. So for example, let's say a state paid you in excess of $2,000 supplementary by mistake, no fault of your own. You return the $2,000 back to them. Guess what? It's coming back to you. It's going to be landing in the account in which you receive your normal unemployment benefits over the last year. Congratulations, automatic, you don't have to do anything. Donut moment number 2 hitting up, and this is incredible great news. All this week and a little bit of next week, if you haven't gotten it yet, single tax filers who paid taxes on their unemployment benefits are getting those checks back. I had one very nice viewer this morning send me a private message, said, "LA, I got $2,000 back. Thank you for your recordings." So where is this money coming from, and how are you going to see this money? If you filed a 2020 tax return and paid taxes on unemployment benefits to the federal government, the part of the taxes you paid on unemployment is coming back to you from the federal government. It will come in either one of 2 routes. If you have a direct deposit account on that 2020 tax return, then it's going into that deposit account. Otherwise, it's coming in the mailbox in a beige or white envelope with inside of it has a beige check, Department of Treasury or IRS with the subject line refund. Very easy breezy to understand. So here's an example. Let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment assistance in 2020. You filed your 2020 tax return already. Your total tax bill was $5,000, of which $4,000 was your taxes paid on unemployment benefits. You're getting $4,000 back from IRS. Automatic, you don't have to do anything. What about my joint filers, my husband and wives, where there's 2 people on the tax return or more? Well, your benefits are coming back from the IRS at the end of this month. Incredible great news, automatic. All right, now that triggers a major tough love moment. It's Friday evening. And over the last few days, you've seen my introduction of the tough love moments into this channel. Why? This coming Monday is the deadline for your federal tax return to be filed. And that deadline is literally the door closing on you getting thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars back from the federal government. If you do not file the tax return for the series of things that I'm going over right now, you're not getting the money ever. So let me go over all the details starting right now. Item number 1. You have to file a tax return by Monday for the IRS to recoup anything you took out for federal taxes for your unemployment benefits during the last 2020 year. Here's an example. Let's say you got unemployment in 2020. You took out for federal taxes every week of $100 over 10 weeks. That is $1,000 you took out for federal taxes. Guess what? You need to get that 2020 tax return on file by the end of Monday, claiming back from IRS that $1,000 you took out for federal taxes. If you don't, you're not getting the money back. All right, now we go to not 1, but 4 major tough love moments, and these can go up to $10,000, $12,000 that you can get back, but the deadline is this Monday. Big tough love moment here. All right, tough love moment number 1 is all about children. So under the third stimulus package, you can get $3,600 for a child 5 to newborn, or $3,000 for a child 17 to 6, starting the month of July, prorated, $300 or $250 a month. If 2 things have happened. 1, you made $75,000 or less. And 2, IRS knows that child is alive and with you. If IRS does not know the second circumstance, you're not getting a single penny. Here's an example. A mother of a 5, 4, and 3-year-old does not think that IRS knows those children exist. In the month of July, she's entitled to $10,000. But if she does not file that tax return by Monday, she's not getting the money in July. You're missing out on literally $10,000. So let me go over the details of what you got, where this is triggering. It's not 1, but 3 tough love moments. Number 1, which is that one. You never file tax returns. You just never file tax returns. You do have a child under the age of 17. You believe an IRS does not know that child exists and is with you. Then you're not going to get that money back from IRS. And you need to file that 2020 tax return listing that child with you by the end of Monday. Number 2, you do file tax returns every year, but you haven't listed that child before. Maybe because the child was on someone else's tax return, like an ex-husband, or the child wasn't born. The child was born last year during the 2020 tax year. IRS doesn't know the child exists under the circumstance with you, so you have to file that 2020 tax return by the end of Monday, listing that child as your dependent. And the third tough love moment, the rarest one, is when you do file tax returns every year, listing that child with you. IRS knows that child's with you. And it's not a problem of them not knowing about the child. It's a problem about how much money you made. In 2019, you made too much money. So they're going off the most recent tax return and say, you made too much money in 2019. We're not paying you for the money for the child. Ironically, in 2020, you took a nosedive. You didn't make much money, and you are eligible for this children's money. But guess what? If you don't get that 2020 tax return on file, they won't know that. They're going to go off the most recent tax return, which are much higher income, and not pay the children's check. Finally, the major fourth love moment, which is if you're missing a first stimulus check, a second stimulus check, a third stimulus check, or any household member's check, you need to file that tax return by the end of Monday, requesting that stimulus check back. I can't believe that even to this day, on every single video of this channel, throughout the day, I usually have at least one person saying, I'm missing a stimulus check for the third stimulus. I didn't get it. You have to file a tax return. I don't know how many times I got to say this. If you have not gotten that third stimulus check yet, everyone else on this channel, with the exception of just a few people, have gotten that third stimulus checks. Hundreds of millions of Americans have gotten that third stimulus check. Don't think that this is an inherent pep rally to say, yeah, let's all bond and say we are the people who didn't get the third stimulus check. That's not what IRS is telling you to do. IRS has been very emphatic that you need to file that tax return immediately, requesting that tax return. You requesting that stimulus check. Which brings me now to one of the most important tough love moments, which is the following. And I think I've done a pretty good job, and you have been absolutely incredible. So please focus right on the camera for this moment. If you never file tax returns because you don't have to, because you don't make enough money, or you're on SSI or SSDI and you're not required to, when it comes to what we're going over in this video, if IRS doesn't know that child exists, or if you have to fix something like a missing stimulus check, you categorically 100%, triple underline, 3 exclamation points, have to file that tax return by the end of Monday. Otherwise, you're not going to get paid. There is no round way about it. You cannot tweet them. You cannot look for a non-file filing tool. It doesn't exist. You can't call them on the phone. You have to file the tax return by the end of Monday. And if you don't, this is a major tough love moment. You have to. If you don't, you're not going to get the money. Well, there is other money landing across the board, and the incredible great news is this money is for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, homeowners assistance, and also SNAP. And I'm going to go over it right now. And boy, it is a lot of money. It is upwards of $25,000 that is for you. Let's go over this incredible great details. $350 billion of money from the federal government is landing your city, county, and state. And it's landing last week, this week, and next week. What is this? This is third stimulus money. And so what you want to do is get a pen and paper out if you haven't gotten that pen and paper out, and get ready to take notes, because I'm going to go over this money and where you get it. First, you're going to reach out to your city hall, then your city housing authority, county hall, county housing authority, state hall, state housing authority. And you're going to ask them for rent assistance because of COVID. This is Biden Economic Recovery Act. You do not use the word stimulus. They won't respond to the word stimulus. How much money can you get? You can get about 46 months of rent, which is about $5,000, and utilities. Incredible great news. It's absolutely incredible great news. Then, on top of that, you can also get mortgage assistance or homeowners utility bills across the board. Then over on the other spectrum is SNAP. Because of a Biden executive order that raised it over 6 months for 15%, and a Trump executive order that raised it for 6 months for 15%. A family of 4 in Hawaii now gets upwards of $15,000 a year. This incredible great news. I mean, imagine, we're 18 minutes of this video, and I have $15,000 for SNAP or $16,000 for SNAP. For a family of 4 in Hawaii, I have $5,000 for rent. We are doing really, really well. But that triggers another tough love moment right now, which is that this money for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and utility assistance is third stimulus. It's first come, first serve. The expression Purple Hawks I created in January because we knew third stimulus was being passed. And I said to you, yes, you're going to get a $14 stimulus check. But this money, the rent, the utilities, and the SNAP, it is the big enchilada. It's upwards of $5,000 to $20,000. This is the money you want to pounce as a Purple Hawk, and get it before anyone else, because it's first come, first serve. It will run out of money. And you need to anticipate what I also coin as an expression, a stimulus stampede, as people stampede for the money and try to get it first come, first serve. So get it, which triggers yet another tough love moment. Fourth stimulus, which I'm going to go back to in a second, those monthly stimulus checks going out in the month of July. The remainder of the fourth stimulus package will not bring back rent assistance, utility assistance, homeowners assistance, eviction moratorium, and mortgage forbearance. Not going back, not coming back. And eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance are expiring in September. So you need to know, as a tough love moment, if you need help with these items like rent and utilities, get it now, because there will be no more eviction protection come just a few months from now. But guess what? If you have problems finding rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, homeowners assistance, or free internet, reach out to the volunteers on the community page. They can help you find that money across the board. They cannot help you with your taxes. The community page is located in the pinned comment to this video and also in the description. It's at news.lalate.com/community with a series of cats on the top of the web page. I'll be back in 60 seconds with big exciting news about fourth stimulus, the other exciting news that hit today that impacts your stimulus package, and the big exciting details about fifth stimulus in view of that major news about the inflationary rate. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. It's a big evening of Evenings LA with incredible big news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In the remainder of this recording, we circle back to the fourth stimulus and why the push underway in the last 7 days has been absolutely incredible, great news. We'll go over the fourth stimulus check, the monthly stimulus check. We'll go over what happened on Wall Street today that impacts the remainder of the fourth stimulus package, and then we'll cut over to fifth stimulus. But first, if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I don't want you to miss a single video across the board. This is LA, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with financial news across the board. 2 more videos coming up tonight, and I don't want you to miss them. Also, like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes. Let's do it. Before this video was Afternoons LA. Catch that video if you missed it. And then also consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat in the pinned comment. Get access to the PDFs that go over the items which I'm covering in this video. All right, let's circle back to now fourth stimulus. Fourth stimulus is the single biggest payout that you've ever seen in the history of this channel. And those monthly stimulus checks got an interesting twist this week when we learned from the CDC that a mask mandate is being lifted. And that mask mandate could signal that ultimately there may be less stimulus checks for the House plan, signaling that perhaps you would prefer the Senate plan over the House plan. Remember, the House would provide stimulus checks for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The CDC made that announcement, and then minutes thereafter, a series of major changes occurred, including the White House on Thursday lifted its mask mandate for staff and visitors to wear masks on its complex. Immediately, staff and media can immediately remove masks after being notified of emails. And that mask mandate will remain, however, on the House floor, ironically, as Speaker Pelosi says she will not lift the mask mandate because only 75% of House members have been vaccinated. Wow, that's really surprising. If you look at Wynn Hotels, moreover, they announced today that they are immediately lifting the mask mandates in their facilities. Now, there will not be a requirement of proof of vaccination for guests or visitors, but employees will have to, and 21% of employees have already received vaccinations. So suddenly now, when we look at the House plan that would provide stimulus checks for the remainder of the pandemic, and you see the mask mandates being lifted, in California, they're being lifted on June 15th. Now you wonder, really, what is the final month of the pandemic? Ultimately, when we're looking at the Senate plan, we're considering 6 months of stimulus checks. When we're looking at the House plan, we're thinking of 12 months plus some number for the number of months left of the pandemic. Well, if there's only 1 month left to the pandemic, that's 13 stimulus checks. 13 stimulus checks would amount to 13,000 plus that extra check that first month, so 14,000. But it would take 13 months to get $14,000, whereas the Senate plan potentially could give you $12,000 in 6 months. Now you see, if you're in the live chat, vote Senate or House. Now you see how the CDC's mask mandate ruling yesterday makes a major change in your mindset potentially on the House plan. That the House plan won't be providing you stimulus checks into the end of next year. It may be providing you stimulus checks to next spring. All right, that is the fourth stimulus check update of 2021. What also made news with it today and last week? Well, the President of the United States made the biggest announcement you could ever hear for fourth stimulus, which is get it done. Get it done. And that announcement was made Friday, Monday, and Tuesday this week, where in no less than 5 press conferences, the president told his Democratic leadership, get it done. Second major announcement was when the president said, corporate tax rate, I'm making a deal. So the fourth stimulus, understand, is a 2-bill, 2-step, 2-month process where he's trying to get all Democrats on hand. The only thing that they potentially would not have been on hand was the corporate tax rate. And now they are. Incredible great news, because the president said, I'll come off of my 28 to 29% offer and come to where you want it at, which is 25%. Incredible great news. And breaking tonight, yes, another major developing detail about the fourth stimulus checks, not the package, but the checks, which is incredible great news, is the surprising detail about the debt limit July deadline. If you haven't watched the video on this channel today, this is a new twist for the fourth stimulus package. It's great news. First of all, it has nothing to do specifically about the fourth stimulus check, but it has to do with their work product, with their schedule, with their time amount of work in the office. At the same time they got to get the fourth stimulus checks out the door, they also have to do an agreement among the Democrats about raising the debt limit. That deadline is in July. Why is this incredible great news for fourth stimulus checks? Because there is complete talk across the board that the Democrats will not be doing a deal with the Republicans whatsoever on this debt deadline item. This is even as Ted Cruz is vowing to filibuster it. This is regarding the Democrats raising the debt ceiling level so they can spend more money under fourth and fifth stimulus. So what you need to know is that the mindset of the Democrats not dealing with the Republicans on the debt ceiling item, which has a deadline also of July, is great news for fourth stimulus, which does not go through any Republican channels. It is a 2-step, 2-bill, 2-month process called reconciliation. And guess what? I got another one of those 2-step, 2-bill processes, and it is fifth stimulus. It heats up this fall, and that fifth stimulus package is also helped by the fact that they're not doing the debt ceiling bipartisan. So what is involved with it? It's an absolutely incredible great news. And it's going to go over, I'm going to go over why today also had big news for this as well. So they're going to raise the benefit limit, remove the asset limits, raise the benefit levels, remove the asset limits, add inflationary benchmark. That's going to be the big news for tonight. Then remove the marriage penalty, and then remove the income exclusion. Siegel, who is one of the #1 analysts and a Wharton School of Business professor, appeared on Broadcast News this morning. And he said that he thinks that short term, the inflationary rate will not be 2.5%, as the Feds has signaled, as I have been reporting, as Janet Yellen has been predicting, as the White House has been predicting. He thinks that the inflationary rate short term could be 20%. This is absolutely incredible great news for you, for SSI reform. I'm going to go slowly over why this is great news for you right now. First, SSI and SSDI reform would raise your benefits up to a big new number. That would be your new number going forward. The number would never be lower than that. And who is this? You. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, they would raise you up to a new number. That would be your new number. The concept of benchmarks is that every year they look at that benchmark and decide whether to keep your benefits the same or raise them up. Understand, they don't lower them. So let's say they raise them up for 5 consecutive years. They keep on raising them. And then the next year the benchmark drops. Your benefits don't drop. They stay at that level. They stay at that level that they stepped up all the years. There's no step down. It is only stay the same or step up. Well, if Siegel is correct, that means that that your benefits, when raised up this fall by the reform, then when tied to the benchmark, will also be raised up 20% additionally. If the inflationary rate short term is 20%, it's absolutely incredible. Now, I need to tell you that he is not among the consensus to think that the inflationary rate over the next year will be at 20%. Most still think it's 2.5 to 4%, like I do. But even so, if that's true, this is incredible great news for you. Wow. Then they're going to remove the asset cap. It dates back to a 1980s law that says you can't stay on benefits and hold more than $3,000 on hand. It's going away. They're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. They're going to remove that away. So if you want to work, you don't have to. You can go work and stay on benefits. And then finally, they're going to remove the marriage penalty, dating back to, I don't know how long it is, a very old law that says you can't get married and stay on benefits, or that if you are on benefits and you get married, you're going to lose the benefits. Love is going to win because the marriage penalty is going to go away. Incredible great news. In this big Friday nights, evenings, LA recording, we went over the fourth stimulus check, that monthly stimulus check. If you're in the live chat right now, say hi, but also say Senator House. Now that you've seen how the CDC's guidelines is suggesting reopening of America at a faster rate than we ever saw nearly just 2 days ago, do you like Senator House? And if you changed your mind, say changed my mind, because I think a lot of people who may have chosen House before may be now choosing Senate. Just drop in the comments, Senator House. You saw how the fourth stimulus is the best payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel. You learned about the two-step, 2-month process. Then you learned about all this big, incredible, great news of money, 2 of them which is don't have money automatically coming to you, but the rest which is not. And you got to get that tax return on file on Monday if it's impacting you. And then we turn to fifth stimulus and why. The major news from Jeremy Siegel and others suggesting that inflation may go up to 20% is incredible breaking news tonight. That will signal your benefits will go through the roof. What a great night it is. 2 more shows coming up tonight, then an overnight live feed. There's so much exciting news on this channel. Make sure you subscribe. This is LALATE, the only 24 hours a day, 7 days a week financial news channel. I'll be back with you this weekend, and you may need to jump in those videos if you're wondering about those tax returns. Also, like this video. Let's do 3,000 likes, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. The links at the top of the chat and in the pinned comment. Stay informed, stay focused, stay smiling, and stay with LA for More.